Hi everybody, I'm Andy the Kenworth Guy. Thanks for coming by the channel today. So today we are doing an interview with the owner of the truck that we featured last week. It is Gord Cooper. He is the owner of that 1926 Kenworth that we were featuring. So I hope you enjoy this interview, and let's get to it. Hey everybody, we are sitting down here with Gordon Cooper. He is the proud owner of this 1926 Kenworth. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it because I'm going to let Gord kind of take over and do a lot of that. But Gordon, tell me a little bit about yourself and your involvement with Kenworth trucks. We've had a little conversation before this that you have a fast truck, one of the fastest in the world, a fast Kenworth truck. You got this one. What got you into trucking and toys?
Well, I guess my history goes back when I got out of the Canadian Army back in 1980.
Thank you for your service.
No problem there. I learned a lot when I was in the military and kind of tried to bring that into repaying it with getting into the oil field, I guess.
Okay.
Running hotshot trucks for the first few years after I got out of the military, kind of kept me outside, gave me some head clearing time to get into specialized hauling.
Yeah.
And I ran hotshot 1-ton trucks for the first few years until I got into a 1985 Kenworth that I ordered from the factory and put a hydraulic picker on it, and was doing more pipeline work all over Western Canada, down into Manitoba here, and just kind of kept interested in doing different things. Anyway, my first truck was a 1-ton truck, first commercial truck, and then I got into the 1985 Kenworth that I ordered from the factory. And nothing like going with the world's best truck right off the bat. And I followed up with 5 or 6 new trucks built to my specs from the factory, including my favorite all-time commercial truck is a 2003 tri-drive picker truck.
Okay.
And I put in, I think I got 16,000 hours on that over a period of maybe 5 years. So, nothing but the truck would climb a stump if you could keep the bark on it. It was amazing for doing oil field and actually forestry work. I got into forestry contract delivering satellite communication installations to the forestry towers.
Interesting. Okay.
Actually, it was great work. Actually got into 3 or 4 forestry towers that they had pegged for helicopters. Just keep adding on sets of triple chains until it couldn't make it any further. But lots of fun, wintertime type work.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, got my first antique Kenworth I purchased in 1992, long time ago.
Okay.
And it's a 1935 Kenworth. I saw it at an American Truck Historical Society annual convention in, I'm going to say it was Vancouver, Washington, Portland, Oregon, right on the Washington side of the river. A fellow named Pat Stump from Yakima, Washington had that partly restored. He painted it orange, everything in that. I've never seen a paint color so difficult to get rid of as that orange. It was everywhere.
Bled through everywhere.
Oh, it was horrible stuff. But the truck was all there.
Yeah.
And I had to have that truck. I worked out a deal with Pat. He just passed away a couple of years ago, but we've been longtime friends since I bought that from him in 1992. He didn't really have it for sale, but I just
the price was right.
Yeah, I had to take it home. And I promised him that I would restore it and have it at the 1995 show, 3 years hence, if you'd sell it to me, and have it restored in my shop. Lots of buddies to come by, including the fellows from the BC Pioneer chapter. They used to do a springtime visit to my place on the east side of Calgary. Anyway, I did get it from him. I hauled it home behind my half ton, which was crazy. It was not really, it was a little bit oversized for hauling behind a half ton.
A little, yeah.
It did the trick.
Yeah.
And got it home, went through it. Heck of a time to get rid of that orange. Had to strip everything down. I think that orange soaked into absolutely everything.
Really?
Finally got it done. Black frame, black fenders with antique blue body.
Okay. Same as this?
Similar to this one, yeah.
Okay.
And had it at the 1995 show, as I promised.
You got it ready.
Yeah, I had it running and ready for the show. All that I can say is it went over really well at the show because, of course, Washington is the home of Kenworth. Renton,
it is.
Seattle.
Yep.
The plants there in the area of Boeing Aircraft Company. I think Kenworth actually took over or bought out one of the factories from Boeing.
Okay.
In the Renton area.
It's possible.
Not really sure on the history.
Yeah, I know we get a lot of engineers. We've had a lot of engineers come over from Boeing to the Kenworth side in Renton and Mount Vernon with our PTC, Packer Technical Center, up Mount Vernon. Have you been to the factory? I'm assuming you would have been. Hey?
I went through the factory when Kenworth was building one of my more recent trucks. I think it was the 07 Kenworth is the newest one that I've had built.
Yep.
And custom ordered all 6 of my Kenworths, and just mostly for the oil field heavy spec.
Right.
52,000 rears, 20,000 front end, because each one of them have had either winch or picker on them. And they're still together after all these years. I only have 2 of the ones that I actually ordered still at home. I haven't totally retired. I'm still trying
dabbling.
to make a living. Yeah.
You're dabbling here and there.
Other than doing shows.
Right. So tell me about this truck. When did you pick it up? What was the process of getting this truck to the state that it is today?
Okay, well, it's been a long process. At that 1995 show in Spokane for the American Truck Historical Society, a fella came up to me and at the show and he said, Gord, he said, I see that you've done a heck of a nice job on your 1935. He said, would you be interested in a possibly an older Kenworth? He wasn't sure what age it was. And I said, well, this was kind of an unusual offer.
Well, 1935 is an old truck already.
It is.
You can't get much older than that.
Well,
you could.
Kenworth started in 1923.
That's right.
And this gentleman, he liked what I'd done with my 35, but kind of went to town on it, pinstriping and all, getting it presentable, running. Anyway, Clyde Fraser, a fellow from the Tacoma area, he explained to me that he delivered oil. He was a truck driver delivering oil, furnace oil, to the different acreages and old farms and that in the Tacoma, Olympia area.
Okay.
And we've become pretty good friends. He's got 5 or 6 years on me, and I'm not young anymore, but I still like checking out these leads. So that fall, see, the show was in June of 95. That fall, I went down to hook up with my buddies with a BC Pioneer chapter of the ATHS, and we took a little trip down to Olympia, checked in with Clyde Fraser, and went looking for this what was left of this truck. It was rough. It was really rough, and the guy kind of had an idea that it was desirable, I guess. It was all shortened up, no cab on it, no fenders, no lights.
I seen the pictures there that you had there where it was getting towed. It looked
rough as
a
hell.
little sad.
Yeah, it was starting to fade off into the trees, I think. But I noticed. I took a picture of the serial plate on the engine. And the serial plate, both of them were still there, original Kenworth brass plates. And they matched. The numbers matched. So numbers matching on an old vehicle is usually quite unique, especially on a truck, because they wore the hell out of them and then, put whatever tractor engine or whatever car engine to keep them going. So, I noticed that the fellow wanted too much money for it. I offered him about half of what he wanted, and we kind of dickered back and forth. It's part of the game, right?
That's right.
And we were still probably $1,000 apart. It really wasn't worth a hell of a lot in the state that it was in.
Right.
The engine turned over. I grabbed the whole of the crank and turned it over. So it was. And by the way, we did get it started in Vancouver on my way home. Just my buddies there with the BC Pioneer chapter of the ATHS. We just had to start it.
Sure.
It was pretty tired.
Yeah.
But and needed to be rebuilt. Anyway, I bought. The guy had a fella in Olympia there that owned the truck. He was using it to haul firewood out of the woods. He was just using it like a little tractor.
Sure.
No cab on it, no windshield,
just
nothing,
power.
hardly even a seat. I think he had a piece of plywood there that he was sitting on the tank. But, yeah, pretty cool guy. Anyway, he had a gas pump, an old Art Deco Texaco pump. I said, is that for sale? No, I'm still using it. He pumped a little bit of skunky gas, so you know that it wasn't using it very much. He said, how much? And I think he said something like $75. I said, okay, I'll take it. That made up the difference, pretty close to what I was willing to pay him for the old truck.
Oh.
And, that $75 pump is worth close to $1,000 on restore.
Wow.
So Art Deco and everything, it just makes it unique, and in my mind, made up the difference between.
How's it going? We're working here, man.
You almost got his attention.
Right. Yeah.
That's right. Anyway, so I went back the next spring and had to bring it home. Gave him the price that he wanted. Kind of made up in my mind that I'd done a deal on it that wasn't too far off what I was willing to pay.
Yep.
And that was 27 years ago.
Wow.
Ended up not working on it for a couple of years, and then realized that it was time to start checking it out. My oil field work with 2 or 3 drivers was kind of get me into a good position to restore this one.
Yep.
And got it into a shop in Calgary with really experienced fellas on working, rebabbiting bearings in the engine, which I'm not a mechanic. So,
Okay. Me neither.
I'm a truck enthusiast. I'm a business owner. I like to think that I'm pretty good on details and doing things up properly, and ended up getting the basics done. Buddy of mine down in Louisiana, Billy Riles, he was building a cab for one of his 1920s trucks, and I said, Billy, get your guy to build me a cab and ship it up from Louisiana up to Calgary. Just a tribute to my buddy Billy. We used to do the ATHS shows somewhere in North America or anywhere in North America pretty well for, let's say, 8 or 10 years steady. And he got a cab built and got home. I don't think the guy used anything like a tape measure. It wasn't Billy, it was one of his guys. And ended up having to rebuild. Take the cab all apart and do it up with measurements.
Yeah.
It just, not everybody's fussy about building stuff. And in order to do a vintage vehicle, if you're not fussy with it, there's a few inaccuracies with this one. But I would put that to you to find it.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Not
I don't know
many
if
people would.
the gauges maybe those gauges are
They work.
they work, but were they original like that?
I'm going to say yes. They did have. Maybe they were a little bit more sensitive because. Can I ask you how much oil pressure that this old 4-cylinder Buddha would be putting out? It's a gas engine, of course.
I have no clue.
Well, there's no oil pump. It's a splash and dash type of oil supply system. And I checked the specs, and I think it's 6 pounds.
Far cry from like the 100 or 140 that these new trucks put out.
Exactly.
Yeah, well. So your involvement in the restoration, you kind of coordinated a lot of stuff, or where did you get your hands dirty on this?
Coordinated everything. I mean, searching for parts, putting people together, experts available, and I've got a heck of a long list of a tribute list at the bottom.
I seen that.
Have to display that on your video. Everybody that I've listed at the bottom had a big part to do. Everybody had an equal part, I'm going to say, in helping me restore the truck.
I know what that's all about with a lot of the builds that I do for customers is a collaboration with this supplier and this other supplier and this chrome shop and this installer, and I get to be the one to showcase it, which like you get to showcase the truck at the shows. But it's a group effort, it's a team effort, and you know what they say, it's like what they say, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? So
absolutely. And had the opportunity to meet a lot of experts at building various ends of the build. Managed to get from Richard Boots at Packard Publications 27 years ago. I researched the truck with a serial number, and Richard at Packard Pubs, he's long since retired. He's living down in Phoenix right now, or Mesa, Arizona. He was able to get me a copy of the original build sheet for this truck.
That's in the picture there, I think.
Is.
Yeah,
it is.
That's cool.
It's only a copy, but it was in a cardboard box in the back of somebody's office in Brent at the time. So to be able to find it was
pretty spectacular.
Just crazy.
Well, I know we have files filed away in the back 40, and if we got to dig in there, it's not fun.
Well, you know yourself how difficult it is to find a sheet of paper from almost 100 years ago.
Yeah.
At the time,
in a stack of a bunch of papers too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I was able to get a copy of it, and it was in my office, and I got to look at it every now and then. Got to rebuild this truck, get it finished, and with different personal issues that I had, I shelved the rebuild for, say, 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And just got into it 4 years ago.
Okay.
Before my friend in Granham, Alberta, southern Alberta, down near Lethbridge. I'm meeting up with him here this weekend at the World of Wheels. And I promised him 3 years ago, prior to COVID, that I would display the truck at the World of Wheels here in Winnipeg. And here I am 15 hours away from home, come down and fulfill that promise that I made to Terry LeVere. He has owned investment vehicle restorations in the Calgary area in Alberta.
Okay.
And Terry has done 2 other vehicles for me. One was a 1957 Kenworth that I still have, conventional. And before he retired, I made him promise to help me with this one. And he promised and he fulfilled that. Like I say, 3.5, almost 4 years ago, he and his son, Josh, got into it. And I think Josh was the foreman on it was one of the last vehicles that he did before he started his taxidermy.
Okay.
Like father, like son, just fussy as hell with details.
Yep.
Josh took this truck completely apart. The wheels, the frame was down to absolutely just the frame.
Wow.
Spring packs weren't taken apart. That's about the only thing. Engine wasn't taken apart. Transmission wasn't taken apart. But everything was stripped right down to the essential piece. Transmission, rear differential, engine were the only things that were not taken completely apart. Everything else was dismantled.
Wow.
Stripped with paint, sandblasted, whatever, from the initial partial rebuild that we did 25 years ago. And now it is what you see is, it's one of the first, I'm going to estimate, one of the first 200 trucks that Kenworth built, and the very first model or design of truck from 23 when Kenworth became Kenworth.
Right. It was Gersix
It
before.
was Gersix trucks.
Right.
And this one actually has Gersix cast clutch.
I
linkage,
noticed
if
that.
You see that.
I noticed.
I
I read
highlighted
it
that.
on your description there.
Did you see the linkage?
I didn't look at it. No, I
You
didn't get
can
under
see
it.
the GER sticking up above the floorboard.
Oh, really?
Of course, you'll have to check that out.
No, for sure.
That's history, and just kind of cool stuff.
Oh, for sure. So, speaking of history, this year is Kenworth's 100th anniversary.
That's correct.
What's your involvement with Kenworth in their 100th anniversary going on right now?
Well, I was invited down to Indianapolis for a show, the Work Truck Week show, which is the largest medium-duty truck show in North America.
Mm-hmm.
And was invited down. Kenworth has covered my expenses to travel down there. My local dealership in Calgary. Got to get in a good plug for Great West Kenworth.
Grant Cooper, any relation?
Actually, I'm just going to call him a long lost cousin.
Grant Cooper is the sales manager in Great West Kenworth in Calgary. But anyways.
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
He saw the light. I understand that he was selling other types of trucks before he came to Kenworth, but he had to step up and sell world's best.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of like you. I started at Kenworth and I'm still here. So
Cool.
yeah, but so you're going on some of the tours that Kenworth is doing?
I've actually completed the Indianapolis show
Okay.
a couple of weeks ago. Hell of a long ways from Calgary down to Indianapolis in the wintertime, by the way.
No kidding.
And crappy roads all the way, well, half the way down and most of the way back.
Yeah.
And Great West Kenworth, Chris Stelter with Great West Truck Leasing provided me with a 2023 T800 to pull my trailer with my 26 inside. A little bit more reliable than my 1987 cab over, but I'm here with the 87 this weekend from Calgary down to Winnipeg. So
Yeah.
it has toured North America too. So I've got I don't know, half a dozen vintage Kenworth trucks that my business and my hobbies have been able to support over the years. after 41 years in business, I got to have something to show for it.
You got to have some fun too while you're at it.
That's the way I see it.
So, well, that's great. Well, I appreciate you taking some time to chat and talk about your truck a bit and your history with trucking. And yeah, it's been a pleasure to meet you. And yeah, I'm hoping we could see you again down the road at some truck shows.
I hope so. The World of Wheels this weekend in Winnipeg. I promised that I'd come down prior to COVID. Didn't know that COVID was going to shut the hell everything down.
No kidding.
We're here.
Yeah.
3 years later, after my promise to bring it down, well, it's here on the way back from Indianapolis, and inland Kenworth. I'm going to say offering to look after my old 26 here for a week or so in the warm.
Yeah.
Much appreciated that we're able to get a warm place to display it and share it with you guys, with you folks.
It's been pretty neat to have it in the showroom here, and we had it in previous video that I put out. We had Jade Transport with one of their trucks in the showroom here. We just pulled it out so that this one can come out. But
Larry Dick and his family.
Larry just walked in here a minute ago. But
Larry was in there.
He's waiting to talk to me here.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, well, I'll let you introduce. Yeah,
it's been a few years since I actually visited with him, but we're Facebook friends. Facebook has reconnected me with lots of longtime friends.
Oh, for sure.
I've always gotten a kick out of the Jade trucks on the highway there.
Yeah. So we had Toaster is the one that Dennis Duran drives, and it's been to lots of truck shows in their showroom here. And with this guy, little
with that
baby
nice
blue
stainless steel sleeper.
Yeah.
Is that a Mercury sleeper?
Well, it's a knockoff Mercury bunk. So the Mercury doesn't make them anymore, but Phil Langevin made it. So there was
out of Ontario. No, Phil.
That's right.
Met him over the years. 15,
for sure.
20 years ago, I used to be sponsored by Shell
Rotella, yeah.
for 8 years with my 1960 smoke and gun truck.
Oh, right on.
I did cross Canada tours with.
Oh yeah, tell me about the smoke and gun truck. What I was mentioning earlier that you have one of the fastest trucks in the world. Tell me about smoke and gun.
Well, it's a 1968 Canadian-built Kenworth out of the Burnaby plant before it shut down, and it's been running consistently under 11 and a half seconds now for more than 10 years.
Wow.
So ranked, let me see, I'm running an 8V92 two-stroke Detroit engine that we kind of monkeyed with a little bit.
How much horsepower does it put out?
I'm going to say north of 3,000 horsepower, is probably quite a bit north of that.
Wow.
Running healthy, or maybe not so healthy, shot of nitrous oxide with the diesel, but it's actually not jet powered. It's powered by steroids, I guess.
Love it.
Lots of fun. Been running the record that I've owned since 2016. So that's 7 years that I've had the recognized, I'm going to say world record, but really North American record.
That's awesome.
And all on one rebuild. It took me 10 years to learn how to run that engine without blowing it. I exploded so many turbos and cracked so many heads. Detroit two-stroke is known for cracking heads if you get them too hot. And it took me 10 years to learn how to run that engine and run the truck.
Yeah.
But on one rebuild, I got 6 seasons out of that one rebuild, and that included 3 world championships in Texas at in the National Hot Rod Diesel Association record. They shut down in 2018 and prior to COVID, and they're just getting started again this year.
Right.
But my record apparently is still standing, and that is with a TNT Talkington engine out of California that we put a few Canadian modifications on
For sure.
to wake it up a bit more. 11.4 second ET is, I don't think anybody's come within half a second of that with an actual truck. Boys in Puerto Rico are claiming quicker times, but they've got tube frame trucks,
Right.
so to speak. You know, and nothing. They put on a hell of a show down in Puerto Rico, but they're not really trucks. They're something that look like a truck.
Yeah.
Mine actually, for what it's worth, is all truck. It'd be a bit of a job to put it back on the highway with all the modifications that we've done on it, but it's still truck frame, truck engine, truck rear differential, truck springs. It's a Canadian-built Kenworth, and
That's awesome.
Still blasting off down the track. We'll be on. I've committed to a race in Fort St. John, and then Kenworth is expecting me up in Fort St. John. Talked with the manager up there, and they're celebrating their 25th year for that track up there, and of course Kenworth's 100th anniversary.
Yep.
Another part of the Kenworth 100 tour that I'm trying to do my part to celebrate.
That's awesome.
Great folks at Kenworth, you know, they're great to work with, and
Oh yeah.
they're good to party with too.
Yeah, exactly. The tab is
Well, if they'll pick up the tab, I'll party with them again.
right on. Well, hey, how can people that are watching this find information about your trucks? Do you have a website or a social media presence that you have, or is this just kind of come to the truck shows and that's where you'll
There's
be found?
all kinds of stuff on YouTube about smoke and gun racing. You'll see white Kenworth W9 with smoke and gun on front bumper.
Yep.
Actually, oceanhauling.com
Okay.
has got there is a presence on Facebook and on YouTube for different trucks
That you've done.
that I've done and that I continue to work with. Not working quite so hard. It's hard doing these damn shows. It's
It's a lot of
travel
work.
a day and a half to get down here and then kind of kick around, visit with the Kenworth guy.
Sure.
It's all good stuff.
Right on.
Thanks
Well,
for the interview.
Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time, and again, hope to meet you again down the road.
My pleasure. You'll have to come down to the World of Wheels and check us out. Give me a chance for that. Wants to be stubborn. I don't know what the heck. Must have a plugged fuel filter. Yep, I think that's what it is. I think the fuel filter is one. Seems to be the critter.
All right, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you coming by the channel. If you are interested in seeing this type of content, please give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see future videos, you can always subscribe to my channel as well, or you can go up to my website, thekenworthguy.com, and see what social media platforms we are all active on. So thanks so much again for watching, and have yourself the world's best day.